Alright, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Romulan Warbird, back to the bench. I was thinking about this build last night, and considering it myself, I'm ready to seal this up. We're sort of in the home stretch when it comes to this. Major painting's done, lighting's done. Now, time to start to put the nacelles together. Now, the way this kit is built, I want to try to do some of the touch-up work in chunks. So you're going to see this with the head. I'm going to go after the put the nacelles together, see how things fit up, and then I'm going to put the head together, see how that fits up, and then start putting the big in the engineering area also in the back, and then start putting those sub-assemblies together before I put the main assemblies together. So that should help us with the at least the touch up and clean up. So a couple of things that I do definitely before I paint is, number one, test the lights. And I didn't mention this before, but I have a thing called a shake test. If you remember, when I took the wires, I secured everything, including the LED, as tight as possible. And then I had adhesive here, hot glue, so that if there's any stress on these wires, any pulling in the future, it's all done on the hot glue in these corners, so that I really don't have, let me turn this off, so I don't have any issues with it coming apart in the future. So you see that there. As you can see, remember I put the LED here, I bent everything, filled it right up with glue. And again, this goes by my lights on one side approach. So a couple things, I do have notches on this side. These nacelles, they actually fit together pretty good. I do have a little bit of a sprue to fix. That shouldn't be an issue. These wires look like they're going to pass through one side or the other, and I have to think about that now. So if the light's on the inside, I'm going to pass, if I pass it through the top, I have to pass it through the back, but I pass it through the bottom, then I just come in through the bottom of the base when I put that together. So I'm going to pass this through the bottom, which means that this piece has to be coming out the bottom. If you remember, these chiller grills are on the inside. I actually have a picture of the bait of it right there, so I'm going to use that to sort of guide me on that. So a couple of things when it comes to gluing, I'm sure a lot of people do this too. I use regular Testors Red for this type of build, but the one thing, I'm going to turn the lights back on, well, not yet. The one thing that I do is that I make sure that I clean off the edges with my blade. So you'll see me, sometimes you'll see hot glue gets in the way. This is a chance to clean that up. I always try my fit up. Again, I'm just scraping the paint. Basically scraping the paint off these corners, so when everything glues together, I have styrene on top of styrene. Get it the best that I can. You can see all the layers of black that were on there. And then I'm going to try to not shave off my wires, which I do a good job of a lot, and try to clean this up. Right by the wires, I could care less. I definitely got enough of this that it's good to and safe. So this side's done. We'll do the other side. Again, I'm going to turn the lights on because I want to make sure, shake test it. Do I see this start to flash? If I see that start to flash, full stop. So I'm going to go through, clean this up, just with the edge of my blade. Basic steps for me while gluing. The sprue, I'll put all that there. I'm going to shave it. Again, if you're going to take anything out of sprues, make sure you have a pair of cutters. The cutters you can get in many different places. The reason is if you go through and you start to do the rock back and forth on a lot of these pieces, what's going to happen to you is that it's going to take the material away from an area that you need. When you have these cutters, you could actually, now this is the one that I hot glued, you actually cut proud of what you're cutting and not into what you're cutting. That sometimes you'll be clearing holes that you don't want. So I believe I need two of those. I need one of these. These were hot glued, if you remember, so they should come right out. I did paint these. If I could see, you can't really see in the light, but these were painted green. So I should have some. Let's see if I can turn this off. We'll have that green chiller grill effect to it. Again, I'm leaving this on. If I see that light go out, full stop on everything. I do like to clean my bits up wherever I'm at. Make sure this is in focus. This is the one that had the hot glue. Again, what I love about hot glue, it comes right off really easily. Do a fit. That seems like it fits good. Now I got to take the paint out. Use the blade. This is one of my favorite tools. It is a screwdriver that I found was bent. How, I have no idea. But actually, that bent portion is really good for scraping away paint in certain areas. So I'm going to make sure I just do sort of the edge. I don't want to get too far into it, because again, we do have this light blocked. This edge needs to get cleaned up. It's also good for taking out paint. This is going to drop into the lip. That looks like that's going to sit flush. I don't have paint on the inside, so I could just scrape up this portion. Again, the reason why you do this is just to get some good adhesion. I need the other side. Did I see it flash? Nope. Be careful your resistors. It's right here. I've had my tools touch them. All kinds of stuff. A lot of bad luck. I guess that's part of learning. So when it comes to gluing, quite simple. Less is best, and I'm very careful where I put it. So you always got to worry about that first strip when you open these things up. Let it work its way out. I hate this part. So I have no paper towel, but it looks like enough. Again, I am just going to not use that as I look for paper towel. Check the garbage here. This is compelling video, if you could tell. All right. Just reached into the garbage, found a paper towel. Again, when I do this, it's just very little bit. And what I try to do is to have it as far as away from the edge, because I want the adhesive actually to push towards the outside. So I try to be careful about where I put this, so when it does close down, it goes to the outside. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. I put some glue on the edge. It looks like that wasn't worth it. Some got on the outside, so I'm just going to wipe that down. chiller grills in. Nice little green hue to that. Gonna look forward to seeing how that looks. I'm gonna drop the whatever this insert is called. Don't need much. You notice how I just put it right to the edge. I'd rather it spew to the outside than to the inside. Make sure I put this back in. And again, the nice thing is that I don't have any, did I put that in correctly? Yes, I did. I just noticed I have a potential for light leak here at the end. You can see there's some pretty crappy fit up right there. If you can see that right there, we'll have to address that. Oh, I didn't have the back pushed in. It is still there. So I have light leak issues on both sides. So how to fix that? Again, pay attention to these things beforehand. And the reason is once I close this up, I'm done. So what I'm going to do on this is that I gotta let it heat up. I'm gonna fill it with a little bit of hot glue. Here comes the glue again for here, this insert. Again, I'm leaving it on the outside, just a little bit on the inside, because this just likes to pour out in gallons. So what I'm gonna do for that gap is, it's easier for me to do it on the inside than the outside, especially that's where I have my paint. So I'm going to go through and you see how much glue I got in there. So it oozed all over on me. Trying to clean some of the hot glue up. I'm actually going to fill that end with hot glue and then touch it up and paint it. But that means that I can't finish it until it's touched up and painted, so it is what it is. Still working here. This is still looking good. I have this, whatever this lip portion is. There's a bit of flash that's going to get cleaned up. So how is it turning out? This is where I have to decide, do I stop or go? I don't like it. Or maybe I do. So you can see there is a light leak in the back portion we'll have to touch up. I'm going to turn off some more lights and see. So I'm going to be photographing these on a camera, and I want it to be as even as possible. So when I'm doing these pictures in the dark, you're going to see things that you never thought you did. It's very different when they're static and when they're not, so don't be afraid to turn the lights off. And it's actually not bad. So you can see in the dark it did light up. This is really what the camera's going to see. It's not too overpowering. We have the light in the back. I think I'll leave it. I'm just going to want to clean up, touch up those corners, and looks like a little touch up on the edges here I'm going to have to do. If you see on this chiller grill, I have a little bit of white. So it is not properly, if you could see, I didn't paint the edge right here, and that showed up as white. So, lessons learned. I'm going to turn the lights back on. So be a little bit delayed. But whatever, so just a couple things to look for. Again, if you see here, let me get this to focus. I got a little bit of white through, And that's because I didn't paint this corner right here. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to paint that. I'm going to take my hot glue, and I'm also going to make sure that I paint, these edges got painted, so that's good. But I'm going to go through, put this back on. I sort of wanted a little more green out of it. You can see the gaps are going to have to be filled. When I will close this up, I will tape it. I will wrap it with blue painter's tape. That's sort of my clamp, and let it sit overnight, but obviously I have some touch-up to do. So, as I mentioned, we're going to fill that gap up. You could put all kinds of different things in there, since it is on the inside, and I don't have any. I'm going to hot glue it. A little bit of hot glue, fill the gap, and then just paint into it. It's working. So a little bit hot glue to fill the gap, and we're just going to paint the gap. Be careful, the hot glue will it will ruin your paint. So be careful how much of it you put in. So that hot glue is going to fill that hole, so when we paint over it, we will have a filled gap in the back that will be green. Exactly what I'm looking for. The love about hot glue, we could cheat a lot. This is sort of a cheating. But when they seal up, again, that's all shaken well, looks good. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and then clean it up, get it sealed up. The head, the same thing. So these are little tricks that mean a lot, is that when you go through, make sure that you have everything wrapped up as you want it to, make sure everything is where it's supposed to be, and then you know, go from there if you want to really put your model apart. So that's it. Come back. Hopefully these chunks will be touched up, and we'll go from there. So, everybody, keep on learning. We make a lot of mistakes at this. Just keep on learning. Thanks.